Hi, this is Neil Cole from Conversion Uplift. Today I'm going to show you how to set up a new GA4 property using Google Tag Manager and the GTM4WP plugin. This will also include how to set up WooCommerce e-commerce tracking. So the first thing you need to do is set up a new GA4 property. You need to decide which account you're going to put this in. So if you are creating an account for a new client or a new website, you may want to create a new Google Analytics account. Here, I'm going to use an existing account. So we're basically going to launch a new website within the same account. So what you do is go to admin, and then click on create property and give it a name. So we're going to call it Conversion Uplift Shop. Now set the country, which you can use the search there. You can set the currency, British pound. And then you go to next. Select a industry category. We're going to say that it's internet telecom, and we're medium-sized company. Next. Okay, you have a number of different options here for templates for GA4. Tend to go for the baseline reports, because you can modify the collections yourself anyway. So let's click on that and create. Now we need to choose the platform. Now this is a website, but if you've got apps, then you can also create a data stream for your Android app and your iOS app. This is a website. I'm going to click web. And now you put your website address in here. Okay, just with the starting with the 3 W's. Shop. Shop.com. Okay, and you can give it a name. So we'll call it the shop. And here you can choose to keep the enhanced measurement events, or you can remove them. We tend to remove them because a lot of them don't work very well. But in this instance, I would keep the about clicks, scrolls, site search, form interactions I don't find at all helpful. You can keep video engagement, file downloads for the moment. If you create your own events for these in GTM, then you would need to disable them, otherwise you get duplicate events. Okay. So what we'll do is we'll save that. And we now create the data stream. And we get a measurement ID on the right, which you need to copy. We'll just close that down. We're just going to go through GTM, so we don't need that. So just copy the measurement ID. And we're going to keep that in our measurement and tag plan. So this is for the live site, so we'll just copy and paste that there. So that's the measurement ID, that's great. And we'll close that down. Next. Continue to home. Okay, we've done a separate, I'm going to say no to connecting to the GA3 property. Just save that. Okay, so here's our GA4 property. Now, there's no data. I've done a separate video on how to optimize your GA4 console. So go to that video if you want to know more about setting it up. So the next thing we need to do is create the GTM container. So we're going to go to our GTM account here. And again, we're going to use the same GTM account for Conversion Uplift because it's a sister site, if you like, for Conversion Uplift. But if you're creating a new website, if you're creating it for a new website, then you may want to create a new container specifically for that site or that client. So what you do here is go to admin, and we're going to create a new container. So we click on the plus on the right side here, and I'm going to put the website address again. So it's version left shop, and we'll call it .co.uk. Then we select the type of container in terms of, is it for web, a app, or server side, which is going to go for web. And then we, on the right hand side, just click create. Let's create a new container, and it's given us the code here if we're going to paste it into our website. But we're going to use a plugin to do that. And use the GTM4WP plugin, which is a really good plugin. So we're just going to close that down. What we need to do is get our GTM ID. So go to click on admin and just click on the GTM container ID, copy, paste it. And we'll put this in our measurement and tag plan. So for GTM, it's in there. Okay. Right. So the next thing we need to do is go back to workspace. And the best thing to do here is to publish a blank workspace so that you don't get any errors if you then add GTM to your website. So best thing is go to submit. This is going to be a conversion. Left change, and it's going to be a blank publish. So I need to click publish. Okay, so this will prevent any errors being generated by GTM when you add it to your site. Okay, so go back to workspace. Create a new workspace. So click on default space and our plus in the right hand side and create a new workspace. So I usually give it my company name. And add a description here. So we're going to import container. And I'll put a link to the import the container in the comments below the YouTube video. So we'll save that. So we've now created a new workspace. It's always good to create a new workspace when you're making changes. Then it's unlikely then that anyone else will come in and publish your changes by mistake in the default workspace. So the next thing do is go to admin, and we're going to import the basic container. Now, if you already have a container set up, then you should be more careful. So choose your container. Okay, so we need to go to basic e-commerce workspace. There you go. Select our container. Then I usually select the existing container that I've just created. And if you've already got some tags in your container, I would merge and rename conflicting tags just to be on the safe side. In this instance, it doesn't matter because it's a completely new container. But just certainly if you've got an existing tag set up, then that's always safest way of importing any new container. So press confirm, and it's added 32 tags and variables and triggers. So that's great. So what we've got here is we've got GA4 config, which is essentially the page view tag. And this will fire on all pages. And we need to add our measurement ID in here. Okay, which is why I saved it earlier in our measurement and tag plan. So here's our measurement ID. So we need to put this in the GA4 config tag. So I'll just copy that. Okay. This will send a page view event when this configuration loads. So that's fine. That's all we need to do. And then we save that. This is the e-commerce tag. And this will fire on any e-commerce event. It's already configured. If you've already got a GA4 config tag set up, then you will need to go in and select the config tag here, but we've already got it set up because it all came from the same container and we didn't have an existing config tag set up. Okay, in terms of the e-commerce events, it uses the data layer, but it's got them all listed here. So it will fire on any of those e-commerce events. So we don't need to do anything there, we'll just come out of that. Okay, so now we need to go to WordPress to implement GTM for our new GA4 property. So what you need to do is log into your WordPress admin area. So I've done that already. And go to plugins and add new. Okay. So what we're going to do is search for GTM, and you can put for WordPress if you want, or WP. It's already come up, so we don't need that. So here, this is the one by Thomas Geiger. It's a really good plugin. I've used it for many clients and it works really well. So strongly recommended. So just click on install now. Okay, and then you can activate. Okay, and it's already taking me to the plugin settings. The plugins here. So what you need to do is go down and look for your settings, and now you will see Google Tag Manager in one of your settings. So just click on Google Tag Manager, and here's the settings for it. So here we need to add in our Google Tag Manager ID, which is what I saved in the measurement plan tag plan. So that's here. or you just take it from your GTM property. So copy that. Go back to WordPress and just paste it to here. And then you need to make sure the container code is on, which it is. Would keep this as off. This is for the second piece of code that goes in the body. But it does depend on the setup of your website. So just save changes. And this automatically always goes to off. So you need to click back for that to be on. Okay, that will then save it again. Okay, so now GTM is on your site, but it's only throwing a blank container. So it won't fire any events, but it allows you to test the tags in the container before you actually publish the new container. Now, in terms of WooCommerce, go to integration, and here we've got WooCommerce as one of the options, as well as other options like Google Optimize. So click on WooCommerce, and if you're going for e-commerce, you just need to track enhance e-commerce. Click on this. This is for GA4 as well. And then you've got various options. You can choose product per impression, change the maximum number here to 10, or reduce it or increase it so that you don't get inundated with the impressions. So good to probably keep to 10. You can think enable cart as first checkout step if you want. Content in data layer. So there's quite a few options that you may want to select. So go through those and consider them. You can use the SKU instead of the ID for the product purchase. And then you just save your changes. And that is set up. So what I would suggest now is you go to GTM. You've got your shop container, and I would use the preview mode here to test your container events on your website. So you've only got essentially two. You've got the page views at the moment, and you've got the e-commerce tracking. So go to set up the website by using preview mode. Go through the whole journey and check that everything's firing as it should. And that is it, really. You can obviously check out more of our videos, which will give you a lot of information how to configure GA4 and modify the console. So thanks again, and I hope you found that useful, and we'll be showing more videos shortly. Thank you. Bye.